Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm John.
I'm Barbara. That's Blaine.
And I'm Gus.
I invested in a bunch of these belts. They're the old belts that the Boy Scouts wore. You know?
Is that like the kind with the magnet in it, or is it the kind with
No, it's just you loop it through the buckle.
That's a Boy Scout belt?
Yeah, I used to wear this in Cub Scouts. So when I bought it, I was like, oh, that's nostalgic. And then they ended up being the best, cheapest belt imaginable.
I never got to be in Boy Scouts.
You didn't miss anything.
Do you know what I was in?
Who were you in?
I was in Awanas.
What's that?
That's the church.
That is the
version.
church version of Boy Scouts without any of the fun stuff the Boy Scouts
Awanas
get
forever?
to do.
Is that what you guys did?
I think we did.
Yeah, Boy
Why do you
Scouts-
know that?
Boy Scouts,
Because
they give
I
you a
was-
knife, and now it's causing an obsession that lasted a lifetime.
I was making a Wakanda forever.
Oh
joke.
no, Awanas. I don't know. Maybe we didn't. Maybe that's what I.
Yeah.
That'd be really bad. No, I was in Awanas, and that's about the end of my story. I just wish I could have been in Boy Scouts
never
because
heard
they
of
got to
that.
go on camps and stuff.
Yeah, if you sold enough popcorn, which was our equivalent to Girl Scout cookies, Boy Scouts sold popcorn. Dog shit compared to Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah,
But if
really.
you sold enough, you could get a Swiss Army knife, and I'm obsessed over that Swiss Army knife. And I got
And you
one.
grew up to be old enough to pay for your own Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Did you eat all the popcorn yourself?
I mean, back in that day, yeah.
Did you guys talk about that to excess on the panels you did about being fit and stuff at RTX?
About all the popcorn that Blaine ate.
No, just about being fat kids.
Yeah, I mean, not in excess. We talk more so about the good habits we have now. But
Yeah.
we present the former fat selves that we all possess inside of us.
Did you know when I was a baby, I was so fat I couldn't walk?
Whoa.
How long did this last?
It lasted a long. I had to have a physical therapist
What?
because I was
When
too
you
fat
say
to walk.
Baby, how old are you?
Like when the age when a child should start learning how to walk and
So,
make the transition from crawling to
one-
walking.
Wait, I want to know what the non-parents. You're not a parent either, but what you guys think a baby should learn to walk by?
1 or 1.5?
1 or 1.5.
Why did you answer that way?
Because I don't really know. I'm only basing it off of the experience of my niece and
You're
nephew.
basing it off what Barbara said.
No, only off the experience of my niece and nephew.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be fair, I did span a pretty large range of time in
That's
the.
about right. You're about right.
It's usually by 1 or so,
It's
right?
around there.
What
It's-
about talking? Is that 1.5, 2?
I'm day 3.
Wow. Hello, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I have soiled my diaper. I require assistance.
Pardon me, sir.
I like that with the talking, you think they have even more proper speech than even I do as an adult.
I believe you mean diaper.
My diaper is stinky.
What physical therapist for a
I would like to partake
Two-year-old?
in the grape juice.
Yeah.
sir. Bad joke.
for it to get to a point where they were worried you weren't walking, you had to have been 2 at that point.
Probably between 1.5 and 2. Yeah,
So what does that entail?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
but you were
Yeah, no,
told
my
this.
parents have told me. Yeah,
you
that
were
I
like the
need a physical
Michelin
therapist.
man.
Yeah, I was
Aw.
definitely I was a little butterball.
I was really fucking dumb because you know the game Operation.
Yeah.
So they had this.
You
tiny
thought it was
little-
real?
They had this tiny little plastic pieces, and I remember
Like the bones?
Yeah, and I took the funny. Was it the Wishbone? Yeah, it was the Wishbone, it was the U-shaped one, and I stuck it up my nose.
Oh,
And my
God.
parents were
And it's still
freaking the
there.
fuck out. My mom was at home babysitting me. My dad was at football practice, and she was like, "Mark, we got to get Blaine to the hospital. We got to go in the emergency room. He's gonna this thing's up in his nose." And they were they addressed it, and I think they might have done X-rays, and they're like, "We're gonna have to operate. We're gonna have to
Holy
get this
shit.
out of his nose," and they were gonna have to cause an incision up here in my nose because it was caught up there. And then apparently I was just like, "Oh, you mean this?" And I went, and then I got it out.
Yuck.
They couldn't reach in there. They were too afraid to reach in there with pliers.
Oh.
So they
To
were
the
gonna have
point
to
where they needed to
operate.
operate and cut your
Where
nose
they were gonna,
open?
take me down and stuff like that. And then I just
Take me down.
snot
To
rocket
paradise.
Yeah, we got to take him down, and then we got to take the bone out.
They just have a thing of chloroform over your mouth. They're like, shh, sleep.
No, it's like someone with a blackjack hits him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Is that what the doctors say whenever they have put you under? It's like, let's take him down.
Take him down.
Oh, this one's a big one.
Yeah, dumb kid, real dumb kid.
Oh man, it's funny you say that you were a super fat baby because you have then developed into a very tall, very lean
Gus
man.
Except for right here.
Yeah, you have your little
That
biodome,
thing, yeah.
and then but
Everything
the rest
else
of you
is
is you're very tall and very lean.
lanky.
Lanky. My brother's the exact same way. He was just round, there was no part of his body that went in at any point. And he was that way until he was 2, and then now he's this Jack Skellington character of just height.
My-
Yeah, it's like you take all of that fat.
He
you just,
never gained
stretch it
weight
out.
ever
Yeah.
again.
Gus, did you take offense when I showed you what you looked like in the $1 Million Butt cartoon? Did you take offense to how you looked?
No, I don't remember how I looked.
I don't know if we can
So
get a
no.
reference of it, but I remember like when we were making it, like silhouettes are a big thing in cartoons, and I'm only just now learning about animation because I'm just now starting to direct it. So there's like a bunch of shit I don't know about. But I remember like with Bernie, I was like, okay, you got to make him tall, you got to make him broad, because that's how I picture Bernie. But with you, I imagine you was like Jack Skellington, kind of tall, but I also wanted you to slouch, and I kind of wanted you to have a little bit of paunch.
That's about right.
And I think I showed it to you. I showed Bernie, and he's like, oh yeah, that's great. And I think I showed it to you, and you were like, that's cool. And I didn't know if I
There's
offended
no
you or
chance
not.
whatsoever that Blaine, with his severe insecurities and ability to read into stuff too much, read into whatever you did too much.
Yeah, that definitely did not.
Not a
happen.
possibility
No,
at all.
No, impossible.
I feel like it would be harder to animate like the girls of this company. I guess because like
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys here who have very distinct kind of looks to them.
It's funny you say that. When we were developing the cartoon characters for RTX's whole thing, and we drew you first. I say we. I didn't draw. Tobin did.
The department.
I just pointed at the drawy boy and said draw, and he did it. And so the drawy boy Tobin drew you, and then we went beyond there and developed what more characters we needed to create. And so we made Elise, and it was a whole thing of like, all right, these very simplified characterized versions. How do we make Elise look not like you? And it's very simplistic things that are different about your hair,
Yeah.
and even like clothing wise. But for some reason, you kept putting all the girls in white shirts, and so it's,
I was gonna say that like yes, we do look very similar, but for like you could tell it's me because I'm wearing one of my shirts and stuff
Right.
like that. But Elise is in another white shirt,
Yes.
so even if you're like, oh, the blonde character with the white.
But then we also added Ashley, and so Ashley is another slim, average height, blonde-haired, woman. And so it was like,
We're all just clones of each other.
I feel like movements is like an important part of cartoons too. Oh, there's Gus. Yeah, he's kind of
Oh,
like
that's right.
crouchy,
Yeah,
he's
that's
lean
great.
down. Bernie looks fucking
A little
jacked.
looks way too more
less. If Bernie's that jacked, I should have a little less stomach, just for the record.
yeah, Bernie's got a little Dorito shape there that isn't quite accurate.
Oh, and there's a tiny little Gavin there by the banana peel.
Oh, yeah.
if you can see him. Oh, that was good times. I feel like with Barbara, I would make her like kind of like a spastic, like wiry, like fun cartoon character.
How do you make a spastic still image?
Correct.
I don't know, like she's
Thank you,
wacky
guys.
That's
inflatable arm
still-
flailing too, man. Wacky inflatable arm flailing too.
I feel like Ashley would be like a graceful, like
Well,
like
we
a
weren't
gazelle.
making
Yeah.
we weren't making exaggerated versions of the people. We were trying to stick to this particular style guide of a character. So there wasn't like we couldn't make Barbara look super crazy weird and then at least something else.
You saw that poster, right? Like all at RTX London, all the different
characters?
people, all the characters. That's what he's talking about. That's what you're talking about, right?
yeah,
yeah.
no, I know what you're referring to because I wasn't on it.
But
Oh.
I
we
wasn't
didn't-
offended.
did we not draw you?
No, it's no big deal. It's fine.
Did y'all
You
not
guys
put Blaine
didn't
on
draw
it?
Blaine?
We didn't draw everybody. There's
Yeah,
a few
no,
Blaine was
obviously.
there.
It's fine. Yeah.
No,
it's
we
cool.
didn't draw everybody that went. We made
You
characters.
drew people who didn't go.
Who did we draw that didn't go?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make you feel bad about it now.
I don't care.
Oh, you're-
Yeah, we didn't draw Blaine. Who cares? You want Tobin to draw
Blaine,
you?
I'll draw you.
You want Tobin to draw you? Hey, Tobin, you watch the podcast. Draw Blaine.
I thought I saw Tobin before.
He actually watches the podcast.
Who does that?
He's playing ping pong right now.
Table tennis.
Doesn't sound like he's watching the podcast.
Well, they at his desk he watches the shows and things like that. Our artists actually watch the shows that they design things on.
You should find out that like when the moment he's watching this podcast, this moment, and stand right behind him, and then Tobin, turn
then just
around,
whisper,
turn around,
Turn
Tobin.
around now, Tobin. Tobin.
Run to his desk. Like, how long of a delay is there? Could you run there?
Oh, if he was watching right now.
yeah, if he's watching at his desk. and would he
No,
turn
he
around?
watches
Could be
back catalog while he's illustrating. Right now, he's actually working on the Extra Life poster, and it looks fucking sick.
yeah.
Well, I heard he's actually playing ping pong right now. I heard he's not doing a very good job with that.
So stupid. But about the like, there's no like severely weird defining features that the blonde-haired women at this company have that set them apart. Like, you don't have like a scar or like.
Ooh, you should get a
know
cool
of.
scar.
All right, punch me.
That's actually one of the reasons why I grew my hair out.
That is so unnerving to hear right behind
Sorry,
you.
yeah. I don't know why. Yeah.
Then you could go around going, you want to know how I got these scars?
Just this one scar.
Name
Here's
the
a podcast.
movie.
My best friend Blaine.
It's like once every couple months, Meg64, their official Twitter account.
Once a month?
Is it one?
It's way more than that.
Is it? Okay, more than once a month, the Meg64 official Twitter account tweets out, in quotations, want to know how I got these scars? End quotations, name the movie.
Or also, why so serious?
Oh, why so serious? Yeah. Name the movie.
God, they're just such trolly boys.
And we bought one of their trolley boys.
Pop.
I don't know. Can Should we talk about the thing that we went to this weekend collectively?
I
or is
imagine.
that kind of like a personal thing?
He live streamed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He live streamed it.
Patrick got married this weekend.
Yay!
Blaine, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I've done that before, and I always get a sinking feeling. Oh, God.
You're good. You're good. He did live
Why
stream.
is he so insecure? I wonder why.
Well, I once goofed up, and I talked about someone's getting into a relationship with another person. They hadn't publicly announced it yet. And then they were both like, oh. And I was like, did you guys not make that public? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, God. Like, I got sick.
Yes.
Anyways.
He live streamed it because he wanted to give the opportunity for people to
Okay.
from the he told the queer panel at RTX that he was gonna do it.
Cool.
LGBT
Well,
community.
with Eric, though, I remember I'd go to the bar. I'd be across the room away from the dance floor. A new song would kick on, and then I'd hear, oh, fuck yeah! And it was Eric every time was just like dancing to these songs.
What's funny is that I've known Eric for a period of time, a large period of which we would share booth space at
Yeah.
conventions, and so Meg 64 does this thing where they often play music and have dance
Dances.
parties midday just to get people to the booth
Their
and all that
dance-off
stuff.
videos are my favorite.
And so I'm very familiar with Eric's dancing and dance style, but to watch everyone's reaction at the wedding to now discovering that Eric is a phenomenal dancer
yeah.
and just like so entertaining, everyone's like, fuck yeah! It's like discovering the really quiet, shy, like nerdy guy at work is actually like
Oh, he's not
in a
quiet or
rock
shy or
band. You know what I
nerdy.
mean? Like it's just a surprising realization.
Well, it was
I think
great
it's
too
surprising
because
anytime you see a white boy that looks like Eric dance well.
you'd go up to him and then he would give you prompts for your dance. He'd be like, "You're in a 1990s cocaine commercial. Go!"
Cocaine commercial.
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Okay," and I'd start dancing.
1990s cocaine commercial.
didn't
They're
say they
very
were
different
real
from the 80s
Oh, yeah,
cocaine
well,
commercials.
obviously.
It was really, yeah, it was an experience. And then he fucking like, I was like looking around, I was having a great time, and he was gone. And he just Irish goodbye, and I was like, God.
That's what you have to do at weddings.
Yeah, but like Eric's the coolest, though, is what I'm saying.
No, he's not.
He just ghosted and it's like a fucking boss. So
He's cool.
props to you, Eric, wherever you
Eric
are.
has a really big fan over
Thank
here.
you very much.
Oh!
You don't stick around and tell people you're leaving at a wedding because then everyone wants you to stay. You just go.
Or you
Yeah.
have to say
Yep.
like 30 goodbyes. No.
Yeah.
I say one goodbye, and that's under my breath as I'm stepping out the door.
Yep.
It's all
Yeah.
someone. It might have actually been on this podcast where someone said Irish goodbye is actually a lot more courteous than going around saying goodbye to everyone, because when you stop a party or a wedding or whatever it is to say goodbye to each individual person and group, you're basically saying like, stop what you're doing to acknowledge that I am leaving.
Acknowledge me.
And change the energy of what's happening right now for me.
Yeah, and I never really thought of it that way. I always thought that I was rude if I left without saying goodbye. But the whole reaction is, oh, where did so and so go? Oh, they left. Okay,
Yeah.
And then everyone cries.
I'll see you on Monday. It
That was a fun wedding, though.
was very
It
fun.
was good. I'd never been to that venue before. It was neat.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Underground,
Mhm.
which was really cool.
I never made the connection. That's a sewer, the underground.
He goes in a
isn't it?
pipe.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
Yeah, you can find Ninja Turtles down there if you wanted.
blew my mind.
Cowabunga.
Yeah.
If you like Ninja Turtles, the hit show Arizona Circle has a sketch
Doing a
about
good
the
job.
Ninja.
It's not about Ninja Turtles.
There is a Shredder.
It's about
You
Shredder.
should watch it now and sign up for first membership to support Arizona Circle.
Congrats, by the way.
I don't deserve the congrats. I
The-
was in the show.
you
All
were
right,
in the
never
show.
mind then. Take it back, Barbara.
Okay, we're gonna try that again. You're gonna
Hey,
give a nice little
well-
compliment to Blaine.
I'll give a compliment to the audience instead of Blaine. Congrats, guys. You did it. You signed up for first membership. And
It's
and
your
helped
fault.
Arizona Circle become a thing. So thank you on behalf of everyone involved in Arizona Circle.
But
Especially
mostly
me,
Elise.
Barbara,
No, but mostly Elise.
but
Yeah.
all Elise.
Hey, can you guys give me a beer?
Can I get a paper?
Oh no!
I get a paper towel?
John, can you hand me a beer? I like beer. I like drinking beer. I like beer, okay?
No.
Sometimes I enjoy it. Sometimes I do too much.
Hey, I had good grades.
I work my
played-
butt off.
I have female friends.
It's a drinking game. Referring to flatulence. Fuck me.
Dude, you just saw it happen to me. You just saw it happen.
Did an
Why
intern
did you think that was going to be any
Shake
different?
these up because I have the magic touch. Can you throw me those?
I got
Throw
you.
them.
I got
You're
you.
an idiot.
You like beer. We all like beer.
That's what you get
Sometimes I drink too much.
for politicizing this podcast, you jerk.
You jerk. It's not your podcast.
I'm not politicizing it. I'm just saying that I got good grades and I have female friends.
I'm saying it's Blaine's fault because he's a jerk.
Blaine's just everything's Blaine's fault because he's a jerk.
I just want everyone to know.
I was telling Gus before the podcast started that I said, Gus, I am a 34-year-old man who
Nice.
has children and a divorce.
The other side, dude.
And my mom, this last month when I had my birthday, sent me $50 for my birthday.
Aw.
It's super sweet. And at some point, I wonder if it's ever going to end
No.
or if she is just going to do it.
See, my grandmother does that. She always sends me and my brothers. I think it's like,
Who cares what's going on? There's some weird circus happening on the left side of the stage. The circus is called Blaine.
what did you do?
I tasted the alcohol wipe. There's alcohol on it.
Is that why
Well,
it's
isn't that
called
the point?
alcohol?
That's why you have.
How
that's
do
why have
you
the
live
beer.
alone? How do you live alone?
I like beer.
I lived with you for like a week.
Yeah, those are good times. I feel like I love the soft eviction that I gave you.
You did give me a soft
the most
eviction.
unconfrontational. I was out of town. Like,
You basically told me to get the fuck out of your house.
that's no. We had good times.
Find somewhere else to live, you fucking hobo who
I did
doesn't
not
have a
say
home.
That.
Yeah,
It sounds like Blaine.
it does.
Listen, I went to your trial thing.
It's a great story.
You did. But what help were you? You left.
I dressed as straight as I
You
could
left
to prove that
Did
we were
you
not.
witness for me?
He even,
dressed
you even
as
asked
straight as
me
you
the day before. You're trying to figure out something to wear. You're like, which looks like the outfit a straight guy would wear. I was like, anything you would pick.
Right.
Because you are straight.
I had like a lot of like like
Hey, Blaine, spoiler, you're straight.
okay. Whew. Wasn't sure for a second.
This is a weird show.
Yeah, it's devolved into weirdness. Hey,
Segue.
I saw something really. Speaking of weird things, I saw something really weird right before we started this podcast.
I didn't have my makeup on yet, okay?
Can I take a guess?
You want to take a guess? Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah. Was it something on Reddit?
No, it's something. Someone sent this to me on social media.
Okay. I don't know, but I've been getting spammed by a bunch of fucking robots lately. But what is it?
Were they in Houston? Never mind. Thank you.
Eric like
Oh,
that.
the sex robots. That's a great callback. Good job.
The title of the article is "Living Aircraft Porn Will Change the Way You Look at Airplanes Forever."
Wait.
Let's unpack that.
Say that sentence again.
Living aircraft porn will
Living.
change the way you look at airplanes forever.
Okay, living. What's the living in
Okay,
that
so
context?
I'm
is it
imagining
live?
what I'm imagining right now is that this is people dressed up as airplanes making porn.
Or is it porn played
Yes.
on... Oh.
Did I get it?
How does one dress up?
Aeromorphs, or living aircraft, are planes reimagined as sexual beings.
There's a term.
I've seen those actually.
I
I think
remember-
like Funhouse uses their photoshops a lot.
No, it was a really cool book series called Airmorphs that was for the kids and everything. Hey, like the covers were interesting.
Animorphs.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Airmorphs, and they had the kids like slowly turning into airplanes on the covers.
This doesn't fly with me.
I hate.
It's
My girl.
super, super bizarre.
What is there a picture?
There's video. Do y'all have? Can we show video? They're giving me a thumbs
This
up.
is
There's
porn.
vid- oh,
What?
no.
Whoa!
No!
Oh, Canada.
Air
I'm not
Canada.
one to kink shame,
Kink shame.
but this is a little out there.
Oh, that gets better.
Whoa. She's taking off.
I remember.
Turbulence.
This is that Pixar spinoff.
She's got a good
got a good body, yeah.
Unless it's a guy, in which case he has a good body.
No.
All right, that's enough. That's
No,
enough.
I
keep it
keep
playing.
watching. Wait, but where does the porn come in?
Yeah.
We can't. I don't think we can show any of that. I didn't.
Well,
see
now I'm going to
anything
continue
else.
watching on this.
What is
But
the
do they
globe
get
thing?
Do they get naked? What?
Oh.
Do
she's
they get
on a
naked or do
beach.
they stay robed?
This is all I saw, and there was no nudity in this.
Aside from like the mask, everything seems pretty normal.
It's got fan art.
I'm scared to cut to it because I don't know what's gonna happen.
So like the guy that made this cartoon or video or whatever, what does he do when he gets on an airplane? Does he just like lose?
He's
his
not allowed
shit?
within 100 yards of an airport.
People need to stop.
I mean, that's the great thing about the internet, right?
King shame.
Is no matter what you're into, you're gonna find someone else into it also.
Have you seen the picture of the guy dressed up as like a? Is it anamorphic? Is that the right word? What is it? The
Anthropomorphic?
Anthropomorphic, where you humanize an animal.
Oh,
Dolphin.
furry?
Yeah, no, it's like a dolphin. It's all like
Anthropomorphized
latex.
dolphin.
Yeah, it's like latex and stuff like that. It's pretty. It's out there, man. Get away from me.
No.
The topic is done.
You're a train wreck.
Don't tell him that.
Something is wrong with Blaine, but we should just keep the camera on to see what happens next.
Can we get Blaine cam? Like, no matter what
Yeah,
shot we cut to, you'll get a picture-in-picture of
Can
Blaine.
we get a picture-in-picture of Blaine? I know you can do that, Booth, and they're trying to figure it out
You
right
mean
now.
just have Blaine basically on camera the entire podcast?
Yeah.
God, that is torture. That
This
is
is
my
awful.
that is my hell.
I hate everything about this.
You get no rest.
I'm sure Reddit is loving it.
Excited to do the next hour and 5 minutes on camera.
Hey,
What shirt is that?
it's a Big Trouble in Little China. It's the shirt that Kurt Russell wears.
Nice.
Have you paid your dues? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail. It's a quote.
I have. Oh, they did it.
There it
Except
is.
you're blocking the most important part of the podcast. There
There
you go.
it
Okay,
is.
that's much better.
It's the Blaine cam.
I don't
It's the Blaine-
think
There he is.
I've seen Big
Wait,
Trouble in
can we
Little
get him
China
right
for
there?
probably 20 years.
It's my Blaine. There he is.
That's weird.
All right, we don't have to keep that.
No,
Please,
keep it.
God.
It was a good
Keep
experiment.
it. Just for like another 5 minutes.
Good. No.
Just what is the other hand doing? Oh, he's touching it with
High fiving my mini self. Yeah.
Aw.
Pretty good. That's innovative.
That was good.
I am a creative here.
That's the kind of stuff- that's the kind of stuff we're looking
One of our writers.
I started over the weekend. I haven't finished it, but I started watching Maniac on Netflix. I could have sworn
I think.
either Barbara or Blaine had talked to me about it last Monday.
I think
It's
last
on my
Monday
queue.
I mentioned that there was a friend of mine who started watching it who said it was great.
Are you enjoying it?
It's good. I've watched about 5 episodes so far.
It's funny when I saw the previews for it and like knew had Emma Stone and Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
I didn't even think that they were in Superbad together. I didn't even that connection
yeah.
did not even.
And they had really good chemistry
Run through
too.
my
Does it
mind.
kind of translate over?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you?
It's the way I describe it. It's weird,
yeah.
and it's,
Well, the marketing sells it that way.
I think if I had to describe it, it would be like if being John Malkovich met Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So there's like some film school major that's just like, oh, yeah, good. Don't
Yep.
gift that.
Well, now it definitely.
Are
Peter's already
you
done
the
it.
kind of person that it doesn't take very much for you to like start a show like that, and then you're fine with finishing the whole thing?
No, I
Do you drop off if you don't care for it?
Yeah, it takes a lot. I have to think that I'm going to like it before I start it because I don't want to start it and be like, this is really middling, and then have to stop it.
But that's what I'm saying is that like if you started watching Maniac and you got 4 episodes in and it was okay, is okay enough for you to just you'll go ahead and finish the whole thing?
I probably, yeah.
I've turned into someone who doesn't do that. Even if something is like I'm enjoying, I usually just drop off shows now.
Narcos
like
season 3, I had to drop off. Like it feels
Oh, that's
like
too bad.
Well, yeah, it's just that show was so based around Pablo. And I feel like the new cast of characters wasn't as interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult because they went from like one really enigmatic villain to like this organization.
But the thing is,
you latch on to one of the characters. Like instead of dealing with like the villains, they have like the one guy who's like possibly turning.
oh, I guess I didn't get that far.
Yeah, it's like there's like one guy who's like, then it's kind of like his story, like
Who's
bridging
the
between the
lead?
two sides.
The guy that's working for the CIA or whatever in that.
What?
He was the guy that played the dude in
Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal. I fucking love that guy. I want to see him in everything, but like he just couldn't carry it for me. I liked him more than the other dude in the first 2 seasons of Narcos. The guy that was in the shitty Predators movie.
Have you guys seen the movie What Happened on Monday?
No.
It's also on Netflix. Have you seen it?
I've seen the sequel, What Happened on Tuesday.
Or What Happened to Monday? That's a good one.
Okay.
It's,
Put away.
I don't want to give away too much, but it's basically
it's about clones, isn't it?
no. So it's sometime in the future, dystopian future,
Like it.
where the world is very overpopulated. So everyone is basically only allowed to have one child.
That's right.
And if
China's doing that right now.
people have multiples or twins or whatever, they take one away to be cryogenically frozen until the future where there's no overpopulation problems or anything like that. But there's a family that has septuplets, and the grandfather of these babies tries to keep them hidden, and he names them each after the day of the week, and only one could go out. Like Monday could go out on Monday, Tuesday could go out on Tuesday.
Whoa.
And they basically are living one person's life.
Right. That's why I thought it was about clones. It was about a bunch of people that are the
Yeah,
same.
we're
look
just
the
all-
same. Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I started watching it last night with Trevor, and we started watching it too late. It's like a 2-hour movie, and so we stopped it halfway through to go to bed. And I'm like, it's one of those movies that drags on a little bit. Like you feel like, oh, this person's constantly running away from this and doing that, and
What if they had 8 babies though?
8 is enough.
8 days of the week.
Thank you.
I don't get it.
Eric's all over it. Y'all aren't old enough.
I'm probably
I
old
hate
enough and I
being
just don't
told
care.
that.
No, you're not old enough.
He's older than Eric.
Is he?
Eric, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Yeah, I'm older than Eric.
Quick, you're in a 1990s cocaine commercial. Go!
Speaking of cocaine commercials,
Oh,
I was like,
no, that's not a
what?
segue for anything.
that would have been a bad segue to a sponsor.
I thought about it.
Did you watch the trailer for Holmes and Watson?
I did.
wasn't into it.
I'm not either.
It's almost like it's the same movie again that they always make.
But now they're Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
It's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson
Oh, in
like Victorian
Ray
England.
Fiennes is
I
in
kind
it.
of like that
Moriarty.
casting.
Ray Fiennes is not.
Yeah, but it's like
is not Moriarty. It's someone else you're thinking of.
Is it just not quite?
I feel
Is
like
it Ray Fiennes
it's
as
like
Moriarty?
they're doing their same shtick.
God,
It's
I
like
hope I get
they're
pretty
just
wrong.
now they're Watson and Holmes.
I was watching.
It was like it's like a little too dumb. Hey, what's up? We'll talk to him in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm burned out on that whole like straight comedy genre.
Ray
Yeah.
Fiennes, Moriarty.
Is it? Okay. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong.
was a- that was a
I'm fine with
strong
saying
bitch.
that.
I love it.
I haven't gone
my
to
Ray
see like a
Fiennes.
straight comedy movie like that in forever and enjoyed it to any degree. Like at best, there may be things you put on from HBO or something just to pass the
Watch
time.
it on a plane.
Yeah, you watch on a plane, but it's like this whole like the Baywatch, that like kind of movie that came out, and what was the Game Night one that
Game
came
Night
out?
was. I was
People
gonna
said
say
Game Night was good.
that's
Tag.
the one that was the latest comedy movie that I just fucking ate up. I was like,
Like, it
so
was
done
good?
with that movie. Oh yeah, I love that movie. I don't
But
want to
there's
overhype it, but I
there's
enjoyed
no
it.
hook.
I don't want to overhype it.
Like there's
But it
no
was the
hook for
best.
any of these movies or like a mass amount of
No,
like.
Game Night's fun. It's like Clue. It's there's they're questioning like if it's a game or like what is that if there's a crime, like twists and turns and fun. Baywatch is like that's there's no hook. It's like, oh, we rebooted.
I
the
tried
shitty
watching
TV
that. I
show.
got about 20 minutes in before I turned it off.
Yeah, but Game Night's good.
I don't know if it gets better, but I just
What
couldn't.
is Game Night, Jack?
That wasn't a Jack
That's
joke.
horrible. That's a horrible thing. We don't do that anymore, Gus. I have to reiterate what John said. Tag is awesome. Tag's a great movie that no one saw.
Oh yeah, Tag is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's really good.
It
It's
looked like
based
a
on
real dumb.
based on a true story.
Yeah. And it's like the guys who it's based on is like at the end. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Gus. How are you doing? Thanks for having
Good.
me on.
I'm doing good too. Thanks, Jack.
Hi, everyone
I like
else
your
playing
t-shirt.
Barbara John.
We didn't ask
Hi.
you to talk about Game Night. We asked you to talk about something else.
That's
Barbara John
true.
sounds like your cousin.
I'm here to talk about Extra Life a little bit. Yay!
I brought
Extra
that up
Life.
earlier. I talked about Tobin making the poster.
Nice. Yeah, the poster looks awesome.
about you, John?
Super exciting. Speaking of the poster, we're going to be teasing a little bit of it this Thursday. So this Thursday, October 4th, from 6 p.m. Central till 10 p.m. Central, we're going to be doing a recruitment stream. So we're looking for people to join the Rooster Teeth team. This is, I think, the third year we've done this. And yeah, so if you want to join, come watch us. What camera? Hey, how you doing, Internet? How you doing? So
Look,
6
that's a
p.m.
professional.
Hi. So 6 p.m. Central till 10 p.m. Central, you'll be just streaming, playing video games, talking to the chat, and do whatever. Just trying to get people to join. We're not asking for donations. If you want to make a donation, that'd be fantastic, but you don't have to just yet. Right now, we're just looking for people to join the team Rooster Teeth. But the way it works is you can actually have your own sub-team and then join the Rooster Teeth super team. So like if you and a group of people like in Vermont want to raise money for the local hospital there, or Hawaii, or Florida, wherever you want, you can do that. You can raise money for your local children's hospital, Children's Miracle Network Hospital. It's a
What about
mouthful.
Arizona?
Arizona, they can too. They
Wyoming?
can too. Yeah.
What about West Virginia?
Wyoming's good. No, not West Virginia.
Damn.
God damn
They
it,
don't have
West
hospitals
Virginia.
in West Virginia. Sorry, that's how it works.
Tough.
Anyway,
Fuck.
but yeah, we're looking for people to join our team. So check it out on Thursday from 6 until 10. Then November 3rd and 4th. Yes, November 3rd and 4th is going to be the RT community stream where we are getting tons of different community groups from all over, 25 different groups doing 25 hours of streaming for different. We're basically going to be pointing our camera at different streams all over the world, showing off what different groups are doing, and then we'll be throwing back to here and saying hi to everyone and, see how things are going here, and remind people that on November 10th and 11th is the big Rooster Teeth Extra Life stream. And holy crap, it's going to be a good one. We have a lot of stuff planned. We have a budget this year, which is exciting. So that's fun.
Now with budget.
Yay! So that should be pretty good. And and we've got a bunch of cool stuff. We've got we'll be showing off some of the new pins, which I'm excited to talk about because the pin set this year, we're doing something new with it we've never done before. We've got the poster and the T-shirt. Obviously, are coming back. We have a single pin that I'm very excited for. And we might be doing a limited edition for the first time ever, a limited edition run of like 100 of one other thing that relates to the theme. It'll make sense when we talk about it publicly. So anyway, it's going to be very cool. But that being said, this Thursday, come check it out from 6 until 10 Central. We're going to be streaming, getting people to join our team. And then, it's going to be lots of fun. I'm going to be writing a journal about it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask there. I'll be going there and answering that stuff.
So excited that I'm going to be here this year.
It's going to be fun.
Were you not here last year?
I missed last year's because we were at a convention.
Wait, when is it? November
10th and 11th.
He just said it like 5 times, dude. It was on the screen.
I should be here. I'm sorry.
That's the big one. That's the big one. Blaine, you've been like at every single one of the massive ones. I think it was 6 years ago, it was you, me, and Katie, and you were an intern. And we started up that stream, the three of us. I think we ran it for like 2 hours before anyone else showed up.
Kicked it off.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
So-
that was also, that was like, as an intern being a part of that and just like kind of transitioning from the community into the company was the most heartwarming experience.
Yeah.
And at any time Extra Life comes around, it just like recharges my batteries, like
Yeah.
my love for the community, like my desire to make good content for you guys, because it's just like, it's
like
the
it
most family thing. that-
Recharges everyone all around.
Yeah.
I think.
Even though it drains us technically, we're like dead tired by the end
Yeah.
of it.
It's funny because like that's happened a couple times now because like you were an intern then and it was like, okay, this guy, he's gonna make it. And I remember when Miles was at the very first RTX and he was an intern and it was like, who is this kid? And it's like, yeah, he's gonna be working here. And so it's cool to see you guys kind of go on from there to grow up and be where you are now. So
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here, Blaine.
Well, and to be a part of it and for you to like, constantly bring me in to be involved, it's a fucking huge pleasure.
Do you guys want some time alone?
Yeah.
You wanna go?
Blaine, there's lots of space over here. Anyway, thank you guys.
As
Thank
big-
you, everybody.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks
Come
for
check us
reminding
out
everyone.
this Thursday. And also, if you guys want to be on it, you're welcome to come on.
Yeah.
6 to 10, hang out, play video games, do whatever. It's going to be very chill, just getting people. And we're going to tease other stuff we're doing. So we got poster, pin, other stuff. It's good.
I haven't seen any
Right
of
on,
the
man.
posters or the poster or the
Do we,
pins yet. I'm
are we
excited.
allowed to? What's the theme? Are we mentioning that? on
We'll mention
Thursday?
that on Thursday.
Okay.
So the theme is it's an idea I had that I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool. Like Katie and I took a road trip and we basically for the first 8 hours just spat out ideas of like what can we do. We came up with like the next 4 years worth of posters.
That's
Oh, awesome.
And so I wanted to do like a Game of Thrones style world map, but then we did the theme park map last year, so it was kind of like a little too close.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, we're not doing that. But
Yeah.
maybe.
The poster, I freaked out whenever you told me about it for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm
Fat
pretty
baby
sure
Gus.
Fat baby Gus. Big
But,
round baby
Fat
Gus.
so
He's got
fat,
cheese
so
on his head.
baby.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jack.
Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
Jack.
Jack.
See you later.
When he was telling the people the time for the stream this Thursday, at one point, you said 6 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central. And I like the idea of someone telling somebody it's 6 p.m. Central to 8 p.m. Pacific. And just like change your own time zones at the
Yeah.
time you're telling people to really fuck with them.
Makes it convenient.
Dude, I'm still like kind of jet lagged from just all the travel, but I'm totally working it into my favor because like now I'm a morning person. Like it took
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 weeks and I'm a morning person now.
We came. We came down from that very quickly, but the first couple days of coming back from London, we were waking up at like 7 a.m. just naturally.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so much to do with the day.
Yeah.
I get up at
Wow.
5:30.
Cool. Well, I don't.
Yeah, I
get
used
up
to
at
want to
8,
sleep in, but
8:30.
I don't know when I made that change. I was like, if I wake up early, there's less people out and I can get more stuff done in the
Yeah,
day.
I love.
That's when you know you've
Waking
gotten
up
old.
early on a
Oh yeah,
weekend,
I'm old.
yeah.
I'm old now,
Yeah.
and I go to sleep like at 10, and I get up at like 5:36. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like that's. I used to think that I was like definitely not a morning person, and now I think I've transitioned.
It's just like sometimes like you realize like after a certain hour in the night, like everything's closed. There's not a lot to do except for like
Video
watch-
games.
Well, I mean,
And
yeah, but
Social media is very slow.
yeah, there's just not a lot going on. But you wake up early in the morning, it's like, oh, my coffee shops are open and I can go and experience
Go to the
this.
gym.
Yeah, I've been working out like every morning. It's great. Just get it out of the way, and then tonight I'm gonna go.
Are gyms more crowded in the morning or in the evening?
I would say after work is the most crowded time,
I
like
would totally
6
agree.
p.m.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like pretty empty in the mornings.
If I go when I go to the gym, I'm usually there by like 7, and it like at the climbing gym, and it's just like me and like two other dudes not even seeing each other.
Yeah, I feel like the most quiet times are like 9 a.m. because at that point it's too late in the morning for people to go work out before work, but it's still early enough where you haven't had like the lunch rush or anything.
You'd be surprised. We have like I think we have a weird college atmosphere here where people have weird schedules, and so
True.
they still like there's still people there in the mid morning. It's definitely not as bad as like after work.
Yeah.
After work is just everybody and their mothers there.
Get
Well, I
lucky
used
if you
to
get a
like
machine.
sometimes if I would procrastinate, I would just keep pushing off the gym, but like I can't let myself go to bed until I've worked out. Like it's a non-negotiable. I got to do it. So sometimes I'd find myself working out at like 1 or 2 a.m., which is just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Because then you're wired and you're like nervous system's like and you can't get to bed. So like now I'm eliminating that problem. It's pretty great.
Have you ever worked out drunk? Like, have you ever had a couple beers and then gone and worked out?
Yeah, there was one time I think I went out for drinks. I think you were probably there. We went to like that bar that we always go to on East 6th, and I was like, hey, I got to duck out. And then I went to my
Yeah, you had to go to work out. I remember that because I'm like,
How is that?
you what? Why?
it's like it dulls your senses, so it's like I feel like I'm able to do like more, and it's less painful, but it's also like dangerous,
Right.
And like I mean it's not super healthy, you know. I remember there was this one time this guy came to the gym and he was like, I'm working out high, this is crazy, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. So now I relate intoxication and working out with that guy, and I don't want to
He was just watching his
That's why you
bicep
won't
in the
work out with me
mirror.
anymore.
It's getting bigger.
Wow, I got the pump.
Like, if he just flexes, he's making his muscles bigger.
He's just like
I didn't understand the pump until it happened to me.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I was working out with a trainer, and I was doing pull-ups, and I like get down and I'm looking in the mirror and I go, "Oh my god, what's wrong with my arms?" And he's like, "You got the pump." And I was like, "What's happening?" They felt like they were twice the size that they normally
Yeah.
are, and like very tender to the touch.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to like walk around like this the rest of the day, and I'm like, I'm fucking beefy as shit.
I
That's
know
how
what
boners
erections
work.
are. Yeah.
So your arms had boners.
Yeah, now
You
you know
just- you just blew our
the
mind.
Bone arms.
Yeah. We were just talking
Pretty good.
about that when you go climbing, the part of your body that gets worked the most is from the elbow down, and your forearms just get completely solid and your hands get
Yeah.
stiff. And so it's like you have forearm boners,
Yeah.
Two arm boners.
two arm boners.
There you go.
I think I
Thank
told
you.
this on the podcast. This guy like said like your arms look like legs, and I was like so happy about that. I still think of that sometimes.
Your arms look like legs.
Your arms look like legs.
Can I tell you a story about from RTX London?
You may.
Absolutely.
Okay, so after RTX London, which was fantastic and a wonderful event,
Good time.
Everyone there was delightful,
Definitely.
and I got to spend quality time with my good friend Blaine and my good friend Gus.
Oh, good friends.
I don't really spend any time with you, so it just didn't happen.
So, I'm sorry that I had to go to the hospital.
I, was
I
saying,
know
I
you
think
did.
the only time
So
I
sorry.
got to spend time with you, I sat next to you, and then you said, "I don't feel good," and then you left.
Well, no, I felt like I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
And I told Gus, because I was just at a table with him, I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. If I'm not back in about 7 minutes, just text me. Just in
check.
case.
Yeah, I started a timer on my phone. I go, "Okay, here you go."
Yeah. Anyways, so we had a little bonding moment.
That's good. The bonding over making sure Barbara doesn't die.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I was scared I was going to pass out and hit my head in the bathroom, and no one would know I was in there.
It's a possibility. But after RTX, took a little trip to Paris for my first time ever going to France, and a few of us went to Disneyland Paris, and yeah, that's all they said throughout the entire park.
Uh-huh.
It got really
Mickey Mouse. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. You tell me about my trip to Disneyland Paris. Tell me about my trip to Disneyland Paris.
As an employee at Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, tell me how it was.
Croissant. This is kind of like not racist.
Yeah,
but
this is like this is definitely out there.
It's
yeah.
just offensive.
I'd like to go to Paris someday. Continue
did-
your story, please.
They're going to have a picture up of you.
Yeah, at immigration, the passport controller gonna have that video playing on loop. Be like, no.
Kill this man.
Croissants, huh?
You just can't stop doing
No.
Now, are you Creole now, like Cajun?
This doesn't have to do with my story, but we did go on Pirates, and I was really looking forward to it being French Pirates the whole way. And
yeah.
we got on the ride, and the whole like the beginning spiel was in French, and like the opening, like they even had a like the Davy Jones part, and he was in French instead of Bill Nye's voice. and the rest of the pirates thought the whole thing were French. And then it got to the part of the ride where they cut to the song. The song cut to the English version. It wasn't the French version. I wanted the French version, and
That
it
would've
wasn't
been way
there.
cooler.
But no. So went to Disneyland Paris.
Was Johnny Depp's animatronic like smoking a cigarette?
He was the animatronic was there, but it was also in English. It was just Johnny Depp's voice. It wasn't French. It was really weird. Like the park switched around from English to French at weird times.
I imagine things that are more recognizable, like songs especially, they just stayed true probably to the
Yeah, the fireworks
movie.
show did both. The fireworks show had French versions and English versions. Like it started off with a bunch of French stuff, and then it cut to it started off with a bunch of English, then it cut to all French songs, and then it ended with a bunch of English ones. It was really weird.
Trying
Like
to be inclusive.
the show wasn't one language.
Yeah. Well, I imagine they know they get a lot of English tourists.
Yeah, I mean that's what I imagined, but it was weird that the show didn't pick.
Yeah.
No, the weirdest thing about the park was that first off, the park was going to close at 8:30, which is a bit early for a theme park to close, but it was like pseudo getting into the school hours, fall
It's also
times.
your bedtime, so.
It's my bedtime.
Mm-hmm. Gotta wake up at
And
4.
so that was like early, but then like as it got close to 8:30, and I'm talking close by like 5:30, stuff started shutting down. And like
3 hours before?
yes, so we started like finding that some things were like some of the food shops were shutting down. And at one point, a few of the people wanted to go on teacups, but me and Tony, being the old men, could not go on teacups because it would make us sick. And so we went to go wander to find some food and then see if there's any other rides. And we couldn't find food. It was like 6 o'clock.
It's like peak food time.
6 o'clock, all the food places were closed. We could not find an open food place in the park area out beyond like the Main Street area.
Yeah.
And so that was odd, but I was like, okay. Once they got off teacups, I was like, okay, I had my one request for the one ride I wanted to ride. My favorite ride it's a weird ride, but it's the train. I love the train at Disneyland. It's my favorite.
train?
Yeah.
What is that?
The train that just takes you around
Yeah,
the
the
park?
train that just goes around the park. I love it.
The monorail?
No,
Okay.
it's a train. It's a choo-choo.
Okay, a choo-choo.
It's a choo-choo. And I loved it at this park, unlike Disney World, is like Disneyland where there's like a Grand Canyon part of the train ride and you go through like the dinosaurs and like that. And I love that. We go to get on the train and we couldn't find any, all the train stops were closed up. The train closed at 5:55. So it's 2.5 hours plus 5 minutes before the park closed. They
That's
started
2 hours and 35 minutes. I
correct.
think. Okay.
I like the way I said it
Yeah,
better.
2.5 minutes.
2.5 hours plus 5.
minutes.
So like they were closing attractions before the park closed. And as we like it got closer and closer to like even like 8, everything was just closed as you got closer and closer to Main Street, as though they were just like, yeah, we're good.
They're just
John
like,
was going everywhere and he was
wrap
like-
it up, boys.
He's like, quoi? Because that's what they say in French.
Is that correct, Barbara? You're applauding?
It's not, but that's fine. If you
Close enough.
but yeah, it was strange that everything just like stopped.
I remember I went there once. I remember everything smelled like fried chicken legs and beer
Really?
and urine.
I feel like that's
Oh,
every
I felt
theme
like
park.
they didn't it didn't always
my
smell
house.
good at Disneyland Paris. Like sometimes you get like, oh, they need to clean the bathrooms. It smells a little pissy out here.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know how it smelled, but
Oh, right.
never
mind.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I
You're better off for
have heard that a lot of places in France, specifically Paris, do smell of pee.
No one in my party ever complained about it, so they might have just been polite.
Hey, are you sure it doesn't smell like wee wee?
Can everyone stop laughing at him? Just stop.
Eric, I will murder your family.
Are you telling me we've had that sound effect and it's never been used on me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Blaine just got that bad they finally brought it around.
No.
They probably started looking for it once
good.
Blaine kept going with his French accent.
That was good, though. That was a good joke.
Thank you.
I approve.
I could just leave the set right now.
Yeah.
I'm,
I think
I'm
you're
sure a
done.
lot of people wish I would.
That was one of my favorite Simpsons jokes. When Lisa accidentally goes into the French classroom and they all start laughing at her, and she goes, no, in French, and they go,
That's good.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipt Podcast is also brought to you by. I've been working on an RT doc for a while, and I'm told I can finally talk about it.
oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
We kind of announced it at London, and we talked very broadly about it. But I saw the first cut of it this afternoon. And I think it's coming together really well.
Are you allowed to talk about the subject matter?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like it's about immigration into the United States, but it's framed as like the story of my family, since my parents immigrated to the United States. So it's like showing immigration as it stands today, and also showing like with me like what can happen as
So
a
it's
result of
like-
immigration.
Yeah, you're the through thread on the
Right.
documentary, but there's other pieces that they talk about.
Yeah, and exactly.
Cool.
And we spent a lot of time working on it. We did a lot of driving for it because we spent a lot of time on the border, like looking for people and talking to people. And
Oh, damn.
yeah, I think at one point in 3 days, I drove 1,013 miles up and down the Texas-Mexico border.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been a huge project, and I think it's going to be coming out hopefully in the next month or so.
Oh, wow, really?
I don't know. I don't think we have an exact release date yet, but I
Damn.
think maybe in a month or so it might be ready.
The docs are some of
Don't
my
quote me on that.
man.
favorite stuff.
Yeah,
Like the docs we've done, like the Meme Machine, we did Connected.
Yeah.
Well, this
You
one's
did
a little
that
more
conventional.
in the unconventional. This one's a little more serious. It's like there are jokes and there's
Yeah.
definitely some lighthearted moments, but it definitely takes a more serious tone, I think, than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for everyone to see it.
Not a lot of slapstick humor moments while
Just
you're
like
on the border talking
slipping
about
on banana peels
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could probably interject a little bit more.
Yeah, no. There's not a lot of comedy when you talk to a dude who walked for 22 days with his daughter from Guatemala.
I feel like you're just not trying hard enough to find the comedy
Yeah,
in that.
there's not much comedy there when you talk to someone
Did
like
you?
that.
I don't know if this will spoil anything, but did you talk to any families who had children detained?
No.
Okay.
That's we. I don't know what's gonna end up in the final cut
Okay.
or what's not. I don't want to talk like too specifically about that, but I think it's safe to say no.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
curious about that.
Yeah.
I think they also interviewed. I know they interviewed me partially about it, but I think they interviewed like a lot of people at the company who've come from different countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a lot of that as well.
Yep.
So it's interesting. It's something that I'm interested in, especially since I grew up in the border, and I talk about that a lot in that documentary. Where it's like I didn't think it was weird to grow up next to another country, like
Yeah.
like when you
That
grow
was your
up,
normal.
Yeah, like when I was so young when I was there. It's like, oh yeah, that's just life. I'm in this country, and you walk that way, and there's another country. Like that's just how everyone lives.
Yeah.
Then when you're older, you're like, oh no, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was an unusual way to live.
A lot of Canadians get it though.
Yeah.
90% of the Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border.
Huh.
That much?
It's warmer down there.
Yeah, I guess.
Wink.
Yeah. It's like Montreal, Toronto.
I didn't realize how close Toronto was to
Vancouver.
the border a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, I could just drive to Niagara Falls.
Yep.
Like it's not far at all.
Very close. I think could be wrong, but I think Montreal's 3 hours away from the border.
That's funny. The population density, like the population density map of Canada, would be almost an exact opposite of the population density of America, because all of our population is pushed to the west and east coasts.
Yeah.
And yours is all just pushed down to
Ours
the
is
bottom.
right at the bottom. It's just because, it's nice to be close to the States.
Totally get it.
But also, it gets fucking cold when you get higher up than that.
It's like, it's not that we have a population density that's close to your border.
Yeah.
It's that we're all pushed to the side, but you're like right up against our top
And we're like,
border.
hey, what you guys doing down there?
Hey.
Hey.
Nice.
Blaine's just on it with these international references and
Offending every other country out there.
You guys want to talk about Japan?
no, you've talked about it enough.
Oh.
We talk about how we turned the tables, talk about how every country in the world laughed at Trump at the UN.
Oh, fuck.
What? Yeah. Was there
They
any
just
response
laughed.
to that?
Because they
He said that that's what he was going for after the fact. Even
Sure
though
you
during
were,
the
buddy.
speech he said that's not the reaction I was expecting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I guess he claimed that in their 2 years they've done more than any other administration.
Which,
And
why
the
would
English
you be...
speakers laughed immediately, and then the people waiting for the translation laughed a second later.
that's such a weird instance to be in where there's a delay on people
You
understanding.
Also,
hear some
to-
laughter, and then it's like, and then there's more laughter.
To claim that that's what you were going for, too, after the fact, that you wanted people to laugh at that? Like, what about that sentence implies a joke of any sort?
Yeah.
It's all funny. It's all a joke.
Spit takes or anything like that.
Does he like beer, though?
He does like beer.
Holy-
Oh no, he doesn't. I don't think so. No. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that news. In other news, I saw that Elon Musk is finally being fined for his
He's
his
being
Twitter outburst
Stepped down as a
which
chair,
which
right?
which Twitter outburst did it?
when he said he was going
Public.
to take the company private.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it was because it had to do with him talking about the company.
Right. So I think I think
That's
the company
what
was
did it.
fined $20 million, and he was personally fined $20 million.
Ooh,
And he can no longer be on. He
Right.
can no longer be chairman of the board, but I think he can be on the board.
probably a drop in the bucket for that guy. So it's got like a time limitation, right? He's gonna be able to come back after a couple
3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Is
How
how
much
long.
money is he have?
It's always hard to say, because it's not like he has a bank account with dollars in
He's
it.
got,
It's like,
his worth is different than what he has.
right,
assets.
money's tied into companies.
What is his net worth?
It's like billions, like 80
I
billion.
want to say. I don't think it's that much. I want to say like 10 billion.
No, that's only 10.
That's it.
$19.7 billion according to Google.
so,
Jeez.
So 20 million.
20 billion.
No, but 20 million
Oh.
fined.
Yeah, that's
not
nothing.
a lot.
Yeah,
1% of that.
not even.
Well, 20 billion.
Yeah,
and
it's
20
1%.
million?
Yeah, 1%.
I also don't know if this is an appropriate thing to talk about on the podcast, but there's like sites that have net worth. Like you could Google people and what their net worth is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine pops up there and is so insanely not accurate that I don't know how whoever made this site.
Yeah, where do you go to claim that? I want it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Money
just like,
now,
oh,
please.
please tell my car from 2012 about
Yeah.
this in one bedroom apartment. Please tell me how
My
to
car's
get the
from
access to
2013.
this. Well, look at you.
Yeah.
Rolling in it.
And I live in a 2-bedroom apartment on my own.
Wow.
It's because you get those $50 checks.
I get those extra
Supplements
checks.
it.
That's what
Thanks,
pays for
Mom.
it.
Yeah, I'm always curious to know like how they come up with those figures.
Yeah. And it's like, if I am worth that much, should I be asking for more?
Yeah.
Find
Look at
what
the site
mine
says
is.
I should be making.
Tier.
Oh,
Just
you're worth a lot, Barbara.
What's your worth?
It says I'm worth.
Holy shit!
It's okay. Yeah. Oh, well, Gavin's could be accurate. Who knows? Who knows Gavin?
Wow.
He's way more successful than us.
I want to know how much I would be worth. If I
Yeah,
was
it
on
doesn't
that
even
site.
list you.
Yeah,
All
no,
mine is under
it should
review.
not list me at all.
All mine is under review, but I keep looking at Ray-Bans, and I like my brain did a thing where it was like Ray-Bans $200, and I was like, my net worth is $200.
That's accurate. That's very accurate.
It's all my student debt.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm just curious as to how they come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
They just throw a dart at a wall with a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
That stuff. Don't put any stock into that.
Nope.
Even though I just looked up Elon Musk, I think it's a lot easier to extrapolate his
Well,
because of
yeah,
public
with that kind of,
company
Yeah.
holdings and stuff like that. With us, there's no way any of that stuff's right.
no.
Yeah.
If I was worth
Money,
that much, I
please.
wouldn't be here. I'd be like, peace out, suckers.
Dude, I want to. Man, that's the thing I miss. I miss that so much about Japan is bidets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a bidet in my apartment, and it'll come with me regardless of where I move, whenever I move.
I like the idea that
But
this is not one of those ones that comes out the
it's
toilet. It's
just-
just Barbara ripping it out
it's
of the
just-
ground. You're coming with me.
It's the toilet seat itself.
Yeah, I know.
It's great.
I need to get one of those.
The toilets in Japan though can be really intimidating. That's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's so many buttons and options. I'm always afraid to touch any of them.
I push them all.
No.
When it happened,
Give me the deluxe.
I screamed because I was like, I was expecting it, but there was nothing that could have prepared me for that. And then there was another time where I was curious if there was like a sensor that sensed a butt and if it like had like a targeting system for your asshole. So I pressed the button when I wasn't sitting on it and the water just shot at the wall and I was like, oh God, turn it off.
Yep.
It's like
Those
that.
things are violent.
When we were in Sydney, we went to like a dim sum shop, and someone came back from the restroom and said the toilet was a bidet. So I immediately excused myself to go use the restroom.
I didn't want to use a public bidet.
I was fine with
If you
it.
used one in Japan at a hotel, that's a public bidet.
Well, it was like an Airbnb. I just feel like,
So a
You
random
mean at
strangers.
like not like a restaurant or a
yeah, but it felt like something that was like maximum 50 to 600 people.
You're fine
Use 'em.
touching 50 assholes,
but like
not
that,
more than that.
but in a day, that restaurant bathroom has probably seen that many assholes.
It's like I picture like if there was like an asshole targeting system on it, it's like that Rick and Morty thing where it's like, what am I designed for? You pass the butter. It's like, what am I designed for? You find buttholes.
yeah.
So that we can squirt
Oh, God.
water at it. Yeah. Your existence is just to identify where the butthole is.
Ugh, I would totally just take that from that country if I could. Also,
You
like
can buy them here,
You can.
dude.
Barbara has one.
Yeah, I should get one.
You don't want mine.
I saw one. So I'm doing a renovation,
It's
right?
seen some shit.
And I went to nice.
Yeah.
Where's the sound? Where's the sound?
That deserves a good sound.
No.
No. Take it back.
Music to my ears.
Did
my
you just
friends.
do violin for that sound?
Oh, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to do a sad little violin.
I'm doing a renovation, so I had to look for toilets recently.
Why
And
did you call me up to come help?
I went to the toilet store.
I want to go next time.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
And there's so many toilets. You're like, wow. I thought I was just going to walk in here and be like, a toilet. There it is. There was like a giant, it's probably a building the size of Stage 5 that's just filled with different toilets. And you're like, why are there this many toilets?
Because there should be.
And I walked by one, and as I walked by, like the lid automatically opened and it started glowing blue out of the bottom. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Then it started playing music. And I was like, what the hell is this thing? And I looked at it, $14,000.
Then you got it.
No. Why the fuck would I pay? What? The net, we just talked about it. The net worth is not right.
Yes, you need to get.
It was like a $14,000 toilet. Who the fuck buys that toilet?
What's the budget for Extra Life, and can we spend it all on a toilet?
Apparently, Brad Pitt, like, there's laws in Japan, and one of the laws is like you can't leave with more than 2 toilets or something like that, or maybe there's like a limit to how much you can bring back merchandise, with customs and all that shit. But apparently, every time Brad Pitt goes to Japan, he brings back 2 toilets.
I would do that.
Yeah.
How many
Also,
toilets does he need? Why does he bring back 2 every time?
That dude's
How many has he
probably
brought back?
He's got all his houses.
Yeah.
How many toilets does Brad Pitt have?
Net
The
worth
answer is not enough.
$200.
I've never bought a toilet. I feel like I'm not an adult yet.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
Brad Pitt poop toilet video?
Oh yeah. Cue that one up.
Nope. All right. Not doing that.
Poop toilet video.
I don't want to know. I closed the
At
window.
least it's in a toilet.
That's a lot of toilets. We
What
bring
is the-
2 every time.
What is your best purchase?
Did you buy a toilet that day?
That's a good question.
I
Best-
picked a toilet. The contractor has to buy it. It's a whole thing, dude.
Give me a range of how much your toilet is going to cost.
My toilet is I want to say, I don't remember. It's been several
Is it
weeks.
more than $14,000?
No.
'Kay.
I want to say it was $280.
That's pretty
Either
reasonable.
280 or 310, somewhere around there.
I would expect a toilet cost like $500.
Dude, I poop in it. Why the fuck am I going to spend that much money on
Because
it?
I want a good experience on the toilet.
Did you get one that's like just your standard toilet, or did you like look for anything in specific?
The thing that we wanted was, you know how normally when you sit on the toilet behind you, there's like that bend that you can see on the side? We wanted one that was smooth on the sides that covered up that bend. That way you don't have to like dust it or clean that.
Oh, the little like base.
Right. It's like smooth
So
all the
it's-
way across
it's
the
just
side.
flush?
Ooh,
Right.
that's smart because that always gets so dirty.
It always gets dirty.
You're
And
a smart man.
Remember those little
It's my
flakes
wife.
That
of
was
your
worth-
toilet paper when you wipe
Esther's
your
a
asshole?
smart
And it's
man.
just like they flake off,
$280
it's got
well
hair,
spent.
And there's poo particles. What's up?
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, smart,
Good
right?
idea. My toilet is decked out because I got that like little bidet attachment, but I also have a squatty potty.
Bling.
I don't think squatty potties work.
Apparently they
See,
don't.
I have to have something there when I poop.
I
even drag a little trash can in front of the toilet when I'm at a hotel so I could put my legs up on it.
put your
okay.
legs on. Got it.
Yeah. Oh no.
I was worried for a
not to
second.
use the trash can.
Just needed
I
the end of
just
that
perch
story.
on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like something Krista Maris
Put
would
my
do.
feet on it.
We have. I put it to you that your diet does more in deciding how well you poop more than the position of your legs.
I would agree.
Because we have a squatty potty at the bungalow. It does nothing for my fecal
You might need
experience.
something that is higher. More elevated.
You gotta
How high do I
taste your
gotta fucking
knees
go?
when you're shitting?
Because it's like
Supposed to
up
put you in a squat position.
I'm in a squat position on the thing. But once I changed my diet around and started eating a lot more clean, now I poop like a goddamn
Shooting aces?
yeah.
Whenever I've never had to do this before, I had to report my neighbors recently,
Shit
or
all over
someone
your
that
lawn?
was in my hall, because we do valet garbage service. You know, where you leave your trash can out and people come
love
by
that.
and
I have
pick
that.
it up. It's nice. I never use it. I don't know why. I just never use it.
I use it constantly.
Well, anyways, these guys have their trash can out, and it's been out for like what feels like 4 or 5 days.
Ugh, is it stinking up the hall and everything?
And every time I've walked by, it's just been like this sour asshole smell. And I literally have to like cover up my nose. Well, this morning on my way back from the gym, I looked into it, and it was like a quarter of the way filled with some sort of brown liquid. And I don't know if it was like sewage or vomit or spilt like food and beer, but I had to like report it because it smelled so fucking terrible.
Why wouldn't they just take it to the dumpster?
I don't know. And the thing is like, I'm pretty sure I've seen the people that live there, and they're nurses or something, like something that's like,
so it's really something gross in there.
maybe, but it's like a job that you would think would require cleanliness and not leaving your raw sewage out in the fucking hallway.
Yeah, I hate when people do that for apartments that have like an interior hallway and they leave their like cardboard or their trash out in the hallway instead of just taking it to the dumpster. It's like you're just dirtying up everyone's space.
Yeah.
And stinking it up.
I had to burn. Oh, shit.
You forget to do something?
Yeah, I think I didn't put out a candle. I had to burn a candle in my house today because
Blaine doesn't have a house anymore. Can he live with you?
Were you going to light a candle and leave it unattended at home?
Sounds like that's
no, it was incense, so I guess it burns out eventually, but still it's kind of a hazard. I put it out because I considered doing, with like
Don't
where you
do
put it
that.
on your tongue because I was like that'd be cool, but then I didn't.
If you do that, I will need you to film it
film.
and just send it to me.
There's a movie I saw recently where somebody does that where they like
Movies
And that
aren't real,
could be
right?
you.
Is
And
Is it
that
like a
could
cigarette?
be
you
you.
said? Yeah.
that's cool.
Movies aren't real. Shh. Just so you know. So.
What?
Yeah.
The metal man came from the future, and he was naked
Metal
and he
Man.
was all beefy and muscly, and Blaine can be that someday.
Someday.
Dude, I was looking at pictures of Schwarzenegger lately. It's looking good. I'm really happy for him. Yeah, I think he was going through some health issues.
Like current pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Yeah, I think he's like embracing his current hair color, whatever it is.
Who?
Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Schwarzenegger.
And he's got like a beard going, and he just looks so fucking cool. Like, God, I love
How
that
old is
guy.
he now?
How old is he?
Yeah.
I want to say, if I had to take a
43.
guess, 74 or 77. I think Stallone and he are up in their
Oh.
70s.
71.
71. Okay. Oh, great. Yeah.
He's going to be in the new Terminator, right?
Yeah. He was supposed to be the new Predators, but apparently he turned it down because he didn't have as big of a role as he wanted.
Mm.
But yeah. Which I'm curious. Okay, John. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the Terminator franchise because it's like I feel like they've rebooted it 3 times.
But the timeline's pretty perfect, and all the narratives go together really well.
They really don't. I guess you could.
Is Cameron directing the new one?
No, I think he's a producer on it. The guy that's directing it, I'm trying to think what else he did. I don't know. They're bringing back.
It's coming out in 2019?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
He's running some sort of like fundraiser or something to end like. He's like doing some campaign to end gerrymandering, and you can win a chance to go out and film with him or hang out with him
that's
on
cool.
set. And I'm probably going to enter in that because I want to hang out with Schwarzenegger.
Well, that's also an admirable endeavor.
Ending gerrymandering. Well, the thing is, he's like. Okay.
Can't
Well, I don't want to get too political, but
Not go for it. I don't care. I know I gave you shit earlier. But
he was a Republican. He ran. He was like a Republican governor of California. And aren't the Republicans the ones that are typically the ones that are supporting gerrymandering?
It typically goes either way. I would say whichever party has control
can benefit from
typically
it.
wants whatever party has control when the lines are being drawn typically wants them to favor them.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm not going to blame one party necessarily more than another. But in Texas right now, the lines favor Republicans.
Tim Miller is directing it, and he directed Deadpool 1 and a couple of other movies that are.
And he's doing
Fine.
the next Terminator?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
cool.
he did. Looks like just Deadpool.
He was a stunt coordinator before that?
I'm not sure.
No, that was John Wick's director. The
The other couple weeks ago when Burt Reynolds died, I was watching. I guess that night I forgot what network it was on some cable network. That night they had a documentary about like the making of Smokey and the Bandit, and they talked about how I guess like the director for that movie was someone who was known as a stunt person, like had started like the stunt company and everything, and that's why like Smokey and the Bandit is so iconic for like all the crazy car chases and all the really wild stunt work. And it was interesting because I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, but as an adult to go back and watch it and see like all the thought process that goes into it and like how they make that movie, especially now that we work in production, it's like, oh, that's all like really cool.
I feel like watching anything now after working in production for a couple of years, you look at things so differently.
Yeah, it ruins a lot of things. Though.
It does,
Dude,
yeah.
I was gonna say screenwriting class in college fucking destroyed me because whenever I was watching movies, I'd be like, interior bar, Arnold Schwarzenegger begrudgingly, give me your clothes. I was seeing everything in screenplay format.
Yeah. Now whenever I watch two people having a conversation in a movie or a TV show, I'm always thinking like, this is all one camera shot, and then the other person's angle, it's like all one thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're not actually looking at each other. Their eye lines are off.
Or like, this is clearly a stand-in or whatever it is. It just kind of takes you out of it.
Gus, you drink a lot of beer.
Blaine, shut up.
He likes
I'm
beer?
an adult.
You gonna boof?
I'm gonna boof this beer.
I was
Wanna go play some
watching.
Devil's Triangle later.
Yeah, let's go watch Devil's Triangle. I was watching Molly's game this weekend, And
Ow.
This is why we need a Blaine
I
cam.
don't need to participate in this podcast.
You're
because,
watching Molly's game.
Who cares?
Chastain. Right?
Chastain.
There's a scene where Idris Elba, who's playing her lawyer, explains to Molly why she's of interest to this court case involving the Russian mob. And so behind Idris Elba is a whiteboard, and he starts drawing on the whiteboard these initials of the characters that are involved with this Russian mafia thing. And the first one he does is he draws 3 Ps for this Russian mafia group. And I watched him draw the 3 Ps, and then the camera keeps cutting back to Jessica, and he does this long, very Aaron Sorkin-esque monologue, explaining the whole thing. So it keeps cutting back and forth between him and Jessica. And the very first time it cuts back to him, I immediately noticed that the Ps he wrote were different Ps. And so I was like, oh, it's a different take. And so I couldn't stop noticing every single time it kept going back and forth because it did it about 8 times in that monologue. And the monologue's great, and Elba gives a great performance, and they obviously cut together the best, job of what he did. But it was very noticeable because these Ps were in every single shot, and you couldn't help but notice the loops were different every single time, or they were longer. There's one of those times where the continuity of a movie can distract you from actually experiencing the scene. Although I'd seen the scene already.
I've seen some comedy specials on Netflix where sometimes what they do is the performer will perform either like 2 or 3 times the same stand-up bit, and they take the best of every single one and like intersperse it to make one long comedy special.
Bo Burnham actually points it out in his by saying costume change.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But there's some comedians where they don't address it. Usually they never do. But if you look at the audience changes.
Yeah.
So if you like pay attention to one single person in the front row and that person changes, it completely ruins it for me.
It's kind of weird because you just think of them recording just one special, but they're just like any other production where they want the best takes.
Do they wear the same wardrobe each night?
Mm-hmm.
They wear the same thing.
Huh.
It's a completely common practice.
I didn't know that.
It's to make the viewer think that this is all just one fluid comedy special.
There was this one time where a group of us went to, I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel Live. He does the South by Southwest show.
Used to.
He used to. Is he not anymore?
He didn't do it this past year.
Oh, okay. I wonder if he just got run out of Texas because he lost Ted Cruz in a basketball game. So he was doing his live show, and they did a musical performance. And I think we might have talked about this on the podcast before, but they did this musical performance, and they said the crowd shots weren't very good. The crowd wasn't enthusiastic enough. So like, we're going to go ahead and we're going to perform again. We need you guys to be extra big this time.
Yuck.
And then like everyone fucking left. I was just like, all right, fuck this. Like, I didn't like the musical guests anyways. We all just like left. And it was a really awkward thing.
That's a very odd request to make for an audience to, hey, do better. We're going to do the exact same thing again.
Well, it was bad too, because like you could tell that the hype man was like, oh, I don't want to have to do this to this fucking crowd. And he was just like got up there and was like, guys, hey, let's get energy t-shirts. All right, we need to do it again, but be more excited. And just, people are just like, and just left.
Wow. I do think there needs to be something said for being a good audience member when you do a live taping of something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I think there almost needs to be like a training beforehand of just like
normally like the hype person like he's talking about comes out and like tells
but just
you,
like
hey,
you need to have it's kind of like when we have an audience for on the spot, you kind of have to have exaggerated reactions to things because you are essentially dictating to the viewer that this is a funny moment.
Right.
Whenever the audience laughs, this is a funny moment. And so like if the audience is like a little more shy or quiet and don't laugh as much out loud, it's almost like
That's why we just have laugh tracks for on the spot.
Well, no,
every time I've ever heard anybody laugh track.
It's actually like anytime we've done a live Always Open, they have been my favorite Always Open because you feed off the audience's reaction and laughter, and you know when you're doing well, and you're like, oh yeah, my confidence.
It just helps like all around.
Yeah.
And I think like with live tapings, like there almost does need to be something where it's like, if you find something funny, laugh. Don't be afraid to laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think people are a little more timid about it maybe sometimes.
Maybe what we should do is fill the room with some sort of gas. And then they'll
sort of laughing gas.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, I was just gonna fart a bunch.
Oh, okay.
I thought that would do it.
This is to talk about doing things live. We did podcast 500 live in front of an audience. I thought that went really well. But I think before this show, Mike was telling me that this is episode 512.
Our area code.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's the Austin area code. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize it.
You did it. The last episode of RT Podcast.
End it. That's it. We're done.
Cut the cameras.
Dave from Iowa. Oh, no.
Wait, come back.
I love how quickly you can call that out. That means they're fucking ready on the button at any moment. They're just like waiting for the moment to cut the
I
camera.
mean, you kind of have to be on a live show. If some
Cut
shit-
Barbara's camera. Yeah.
Come back.
No, don't ever go to Barbara. Just Blaine.
You gonna let John tell you what to do? Wow, really? Okay.
My head can't
You can't get over there.
Cut to John.
Yeah.
Make
no.
leave the podcast.
Wait.
Oh, no.
We were talking about movies, and I wanted to bring up how funny it is that. So I was under the impression that after the acquisition that Disney bought Fox, it's Fox's entities, that they were going to bury the X-Men, Dark Phoenix. Every time I bring up a topic, it just ends. Every time I bring up a topic.
Done that.
It's like I'm on the Muppets. And I'm just the human part of a Muppet show.
What about the Dark Phoenix?
Can we do the rest of the podcast this way?
We can do the rest of the podcast. So I'm just going to act like I had something interesting to say and not every time I talk, people make physical jokes happen. What are you doing, Blaine? Oh, I thought you were walking away.
No, what about the Dark Phoenix? It's one of the things I've listed to talk about.
Okay, so when they bought it, I was under the
cut away. What are you
impression
doing?
that they were going to bury that movie. Because it wasn't something that anybody was really excited about in the first place. And then Disney is very protective of their IPs, knows the importance of their IPs.
Well,
and
Disney also, like, whenever they acquired Star Wars, they just cut all the Star Wars shit that was in
Correct.
development, and they just, like, clean slate, here we go.
So, and since we hadn't seen much about Dark Phoenix, and it's been kept in a wrap story for the most part, and I think it already had like a bit of a tumultuous production schedule. I figured
Singer on it? Really quick? Sorry. Is Brian Singer on it? Is he directing?
I'll look. No, I don't think he's directing, but I'll look.
I don't think
I think he's just
Probably a
producer.
producer. Executive producer.
so. I was under the impression that was going to happen, and it was getting so close to its release, and we hadn't seen anything. And then a little while ago, they released.
Simon Kinberg is the director.
Gotcha.
So I'm just trying to answer his question.
Brian Singer.
I don't see him.
Okay, so then they released the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So they're making some hype about it and actually releasing marketing materials. And then after the trailer for like a day, they were putting out a lot of imagery and talking about speculation. It was all the talk on all the blogs and all the Twitters and everything like that. And then 2 days later, they delayed it 4 months later, and buried it 1 month after Infinity War 2's
I thought it was.
release date.
I thought Dark Phoenix was coming out like in February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you theorize that they were going to do, like, straight to DVD or home?
That's what I was saying before the trailer came out. I was like, they're going to probably put this on some sort of SVOD system or
Or, like, Disney's, like,
yeah,
paid...
they'll do that, and that's going to happen. Then the trailer came out, I thought like, oh, that my theory is totally moot. But they delayed it another 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out after Infinity War. I think it's not going to ever come out still. I
It's not going to come out after Infinity.
Guess-
Isn't Infinity War Part 2 in summer?
thought it was April or May. May.
No, but I'm saying Dark Phoenix is coming out in February.
No, Dark Phoenix is now coming out in June.
Oh.
Really?
Dark Phoenix is now June 2019.
When did that happen? Because when the trailer came, is that what
Right.
you're saying? The
It
trailer.
was 2 days after the trailer. It was 2 days after the trailer. They announced a delayed
Because
release.
I thought it was weird when the trailer said like February 14th. I was like, why would they release that movie on Valentine's Day?
Yeah. It was supposed to be February, which was
You're
already
right, June 7th.
right, which was already a delay from its previous release date. It had a previous release date that was sooner.
It's essentially been delayed a year.
It's
at
been
this
delayed
point.
twice and now is buried behind the next Avengers movie.
Also, I just looked up the director's credit. Guess what else he's directed?
X-Men 3 Last Stand.
Nothing.
Because that's what this movie is.
Oh, yeah. No, he hasn't directed anything. He was, like, the producer on some decent stuff. The Martian. Yay.
We've also seen
Fantastic
that-
Four.
But, they also
Logan,
are
yay.
consolidating, and Kevin Feige is going to be
Martian.
overseeing the X-Men franchise
Yeah.
as well now.
which I'm happy for.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. I mean, and
He's
I
a
feel
pretty
like now's a
smart
good
boy.
time because like we've have like a good like chapter break in the
What is
Marvel
the next
Cinematic Universe.
X-Men movie.
The next X-Men is X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Right.
It's yeah.
Jean Storm.
It's the,
Jean
it's the
Grey
sequel
back.
to X-Men Apocalypse with the continuation of Sophie Turner's Jean Grey story.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's going to be dumb, and I don't like it.
I
and the trailer's stupid.
really want to like it.
Now,
I really want it to do well, but the trailer didn't do anything for
did
me.
you like Apocalypse?
I was not as offended by Apocalypse as you were. I didn't think Apocalypse was good, but I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I watched it. That was enough.
It wasn't watch Infinity War twice in a row on a flight.
No, God no. I watched Infinity War twice on the way to London.
Wow.
What? 'Cause
Yeah,
you had
I didn't
to?
know.
No, I watched it and I was
He
like, that was
finished-
good. I want to watch it again.
that
And
was
I
your first time
immediately
seeing
started
it?
it again and watched it again.
I love it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that the Phoenix movie was that you were talking about was the
Yeah,
X-Men
that's the
movie.
next X-Men movie that's come
makes
out. And the trailer came out like, I don't know, a week or so ago.
Not to be mistaken by Joaquin Phoenix.
No, totally
Who
different.
is a man and not a film.
He is a man. He's a very...
The more you know.
You were talking about how, and I did the same thing, where I saw Thor Ragnarok in theaters and I haven't rewatched it.
Yes.
And I thought it was good,
Yes.
but like there's a lot of people going on about how it's their favorite one of the whole
Yeah.
series. And you said you rewatched it recently and you think it's like
Yeah, when I saw it
perfect
in
movie.
I've only seen it twice. I saw it in theaters. I liked it a lot. I wasn't going as crazy as everybody was because I had some criticism. I was like, I don't really like what they did with like Scourge was kind of a weird character inclusion, and I didn't like what they did with Hela. It's different than what I expected them to do, and it's definitely not how the comic is, and they've kind of retconned a lot of stuff, and it was a little tonally weird to me. So I just had some criticisms for it, but I still enjoyed it. And then I rewatched it for the first time this weekend, and I've come to the conclusion that movie is basically perfect and fantastic.
I think I've watched that movie 4 times now.
Wow.
I think when I left the theater watching Thor Ragnarok, I said, I wish every movie was Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Like
That
I
movie is
Damn.
so good.
Would you call it your favorite movie then?
I don't know, because then Black Panther came out, and I think I like Black Panther more. Like, Marvel was just like
Knocking
killing
it
it,
out of
like
the
the
park.
last
Yeah, I
3 or
guess they
4 movies.
Did have like a 3 movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
They-
and I think
they-
Infinity
wasn't
War,
bad
and I
either.
think Infinity War is better than those other 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, Ragnarok was. I mean, like when I wish Thor Ragnarok had come out when I was a little kid. I wish I was
Yeah.
like 12 or 13, and that movie came out.
Such-
Yeah,
It's such a fun movie that can be enjoyed by all ages.
Yeah.
It's visually amazing. And that's why I think I kept putting off watching it because I didn't have a really good TV, and so I didn't want to watch this very obviously visual movie on a shitty screen. And so I finally have a TV that's kind of nice, and so I watched it, and it's beautiful. And I'm amazed that Taika Waititi, who has no experience prior to that movie with big budgets like that, was able to pull together a movie that was that good. And obviously, if he was able to do it, he had a team of people that were amazing, because a director who doesn't have that much experience can't just pull that out of his ass. Like, he has to have people that are on board that are just like, yeah, we're gonna make some fucking cool shit.
well, and shout out to the studio for trusting him to do that. And
So
for,
weird.
thinking that he could execute on that.
Yeah, it's like, that guy who did What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People? We should give him a giant superhero blockbuster film that is a third in a series.
Normally that's a bad sign. Like, we're talking about Dark Phoenix. Like, oh, that guy hasn't directed anything else. Like,
Yeah.
he really hasn't done.
Well, he had directed good stuff.
I'm just saying. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But genre-wise, why would you hand the reins over?
No, it was a ballsy move, and I'm glad that it paid off. I think like Edgar Wright was the attempt at that, and it just didn't pan out. I wish they would do that. With
I feel like we would have
Star
had
Wars.
something really cool if Edgar Wright had done it.
Yeah, that being said, I feel like I've heard he's kind of a bear to work
Oh,
with.
I'm sure.
And
But so is Nolan.
and
Was
he's
he gonna do Ragnarok? I
Nolan
thought-
is?
Yeah,
I thought he was going to do Ant-Man.
he's going to do Ant-Man. And then they
Yeah.
parted for artistic differences.
Okay.
Which I think at that time, what I think was at the time Disney still wasn't ready to take chances. And so they wanted safe.
Sorry, me and Blaine are just making jokes over here to each other.
Cool.
We're good friends.
I'm just going to get on my phone.
No,
It's fine. It's all good. It's good. Yeah,
What were you talking
it's
about?
fine. No, I don't know what I was talking about. That's fine.
I was accidentally, sometimes when I'm like listening to someone talk, I stare, and I'm not like looking at anything in particular. I'm just kind of listening. And Blaine, I guess, caught me mid stare, and it was a magical moment.
I have a good podcast to recommend that you listen to if you like to listen to this. It's the RT podcast. Maybe you've heard of it.
No,
I don't know where this joke's going.
I don't know either.
It is gonna
What?
fizzle out,
What do you think about the Captain Marvel trailer?
and it's dead.
We were talking about it a second ago. I thought it was okay.
I don't know. I never read.
I don't think it was a good trailer.
I think
I
they're
don't
trying to
get it.
tingle those like Wonder Woman feelings that
It just wasn't a good trailer. Like, trailer design is a thing.
They must have known that shot of her punching the old lady was going to become a thing
Oh,
on the
yeah.
internet.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, but
It was funny, but like.
Like,
and
I get it.
The
She-
rest of the trailer was very like this very serious kind of tone to it.
all I really remember is her punching the old lady, and then she kept getting knocked down and kept standing up. Like, okay, I get it. She
Yeah.
gets knocked down and she gets back up.
I am a huge Brie Larson fan, and I obviously love MCU, but that trailer gave me no confidence in it.
I'm sure the movie's
I'm sure it's
going to
gonna
be
be great,
great.
but it didn't instill anything in me.
Marvel's been on such a tear.
it kind of sucks right now too because I guess So Black Panther had been established in Avengers, and you'd already seen him in a movie before.
Civil
They
War,
gave him
Civil War,
his like his or he wasn't really even an origin movie, but like I feel like now that we've gotten through all the origins and stuff like that, to go back and have another one, and like tonally, it just kind of looks like the other Captain America movie did, or like Captain America: The First Avenger. Like I'm not super excited about it. I don't know what the hook of this one is. You know?
I'm hoping that the time that it takes place, like the 90s, it's not like a crutch.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
guess.
it's not all like weird nostalgia. Like, remember Blockbuster? Like, she falls into that kind of stuff.
Oh, and I guess Sam Jackson's in it, so that should be fun.
He was from the 90s.
Sure was.
Was he in a cocaine commercial?
He was not. I don't think he was ever in a cocaine
A
commercial.
90s cocaine. commercial.
cocaine commercial. Go. Okay, Eric. Yeah, I'm still gonna go see it. They still have my money, but yeah, I don't really know what
I'm curious to see
it's gonna do for me.
the trailer right before it comes out.
Does
Like,
anybody-
right now, we're still like in teaser territory.
Does anybody on the set know who Captain Marvel is, what her powers are, what her origin is?
I
Is she a
know-
complete mystery?
She fights aliens.
Because I assume she's a mystery to almost
Well,
everybody.
I don't know much about
Correct.
I don't know much about comic book
Right.
like.
But like prior to
characters in
Iron
general.
Man, you could have like painted at least a somewhat picture of Iron Man.
Yeah, somewhat. But with Captain Marvel, I guess my first assumption was that she's one of the first superheroes in the Marvel universe because her name is Captain Marvel.
90s.
That's good.
but
it's not true, but I love that. I love
Is
that.
it true that like originally it was a guy?
Yes.
Okay, that I knew.
Yeah, and then like she says Shazam, and then she transforms.
Yes.
Right. That's
Yes.
accurate. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
accurate.
Yeah.
But then Shazam is another.
No,
And then
I'm
she reads from the
No,
Berenstain
he's-
Bears.
And then she reaches the Berenstain Bears and solves the Rubik's Cube and defeats Darkseid.
And watches.
Saved by the Bell.
That's good. I was trying
Nailed
to think
it.
of a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Have you heard of the? We probably talked about it. The Mandela thing, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Berenstein. When I learned that,
Berenstein, yeah.
I was like, what? Whoa.
Did you hear about those? Speaking of trippy things, did you hear about those teenagers who broke into a marijuana store in Colorado?
No.
Please tell me it ended badly.
They broke
all
into the
died.
storefront and they smashed all the display cases to steal all the weed that was in the display cases.
Mm-hmm.
But the store knows that people are going to do this, so they only put oregano in the display cases, and the weed's actually stored in safes
I was
in the
gonna
back.
say they probably put fake stuff out front.
Wow.
So the kids broke in and stole a bunch of oregano.
Wow.
They say it oregano in Europe.
Oregano. They
Yeah.
were in Colorado, so they stole
So
oregano.
did they still get arrested and stuff? Because it's still breaking and entering. And
Still breaking and entering, but
I
they
don't
weren't.
think they found them yet. Let me see. According to the
It's a pretty good like prank, I guess, to play on crooks. That's yeah.
wow.
I wonder if they
as
still
of the
smoked
time
it.
of this, they had not been caught yet. It says,
Pretended to get
a group
high.
of teens stole a van and crashed it into a pot shop in Colorado. They raided the dispensary's display cases and left with what they thought was armfuls of weed.
So they left with oregano.
Yeah, but they just left with oregano.
They had to have smoked it.
Maybe
Yeah.
they
They
just
had to have smoked
They
it.
said everything. Like even they have like joints in the display cases. Like they're like, yeah, it's just all filled with oregano.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
why would they
I've-
put any real product in that?
Right. You wouldn't
I-
waste it. Why would you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I have never smelled weed, and I've never smelled oregano. Is there any chance those could ever be?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
Just don't know. I don't know.
Nope.
No. Okay.
There's a lot of stories that I wish I could tell about that, but shouldn't.
Well, it's good that you started it.
Yeah, it's good that you alluded to it.
No one was asking.
You told the one in LA, I think, before,
What is the one in LA?
or maybe Seattle.
Yeah, no, I
Seattle.
told the Seattle.
Seattle.
One.
I'm thinking of my West Coast cities wrong.
Speaking of fake stuff, I saw that there's a company that will sell you fake Martian dirt.
What?
do they tell you that it's Martian?
They
Like
say
a
it's
fake?
It's a simulation of what soil on Mars is like.
Oh, that's not fake then. That's just.
So is it like
simulation.
on a chemical level? Is it?
There's got to be a different
It's like
word for
the
that.
composition. They have a word
Imitation?
for it. Let me find it.
Well,
Imitation.
before I get too far away from it, I feel like I saw an article very recently about how you could now bring or smoke weed at the LA airport.
At
Yeah,
LAX?
they will not confiscate marijuana at LAX.
Like
But
even
they
if
say
you travel with
you
it?
need to check the laws of the state you're going
Right.
to.
You can leave LAX with weed. Doesn't mean you're going to land somewhere that is okay with you having the
Right.
weed.
Interesting. Okay.
So they call the fake Martian soil simulant.
That's nice.
It's $20 per kilogram.
Oh, can we buy
We
some?
should buy some for the podcast.
Eric, buy us some Mars.
Yeah, buy fake Mars.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
I
guess
want to taste it.
They're trying. They make it so that people can research like growing crops and how water interacts with it. And for the idea is that eventually, when we do start going to Mars, we have an idea of how to do things.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
created by the University of Central Florida.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Can we
who
get
is it?
enough for a sandbox?
NASA has bought some already.
Yeah,
So-
sure.
NASA bought some from these people.
Yeah. You think NASA would be like?
I would think they would develop it.
I guess it's cheap. $20 a kilogram. Like anything NASA does has to be super expensive, right?
What's a kilogram?
2.2 pounds.
2.2. Okay, yeah. I had to do that conversion rules.
Can we get a sandbox of fake Martian dirt for Extra Life?
That would be a Jack question, wouldn't it?
We could send Jack to Mars. That can be an
We do
extra
have a
stretch goal.
budget.
And then we just like we have a little side set.
Here's
to
potatoes.
Mars.
Grow this shit.
I kind of want to do like make it into Mars mud and then like cover my body in it, you know, just for the hell of it.
Nice.
Like,
Then
I
do
am a
what?
Martian.
No, you have to finish out this story. What's the next step, Blaine?
Exfoliate and have healthier skin, John.
Yeah. If you ever go to the Dead Sea in Israel, just rub that mud all over you.
Okay.
I want to dead people though.
Yep. They grind up dead people, put them in the
What?
sea. And
No. I'm not being an asshole. There is a
Oh, okay. I really need you to start designating when you're not being an asshole.
there's a body of water that that is popular for like its, you know, like
Dead people.
minerals and the qualities of the and all that shit. But then like there's people swimming in it, but then they're also just putting corpses out to float.
What?
Yeah, I think it might be in I don't know.
I think it's a
Might-
river in India.
India?
I believe it's the Yangtze.
Yeah, and then I don't know. But anyways, yeah, you can
That
like
does sound
some
correct.
dead bodies.
Gang-
bottom
Ironically
there.
enough, that is not the
Ganges?
Dead Sea in Israel.
Which
would be an appropriate name.
You're there. Genji?
Ganges. I don't know. how to
Genji
say
is an
Ganges?
Overwatch character.
Ganges.
Ganges.
I see it here. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that would suck. You could just be going. I wouldn't want to swim in that water.
That's probably good. You wouldn't want to swim in that water.
Dead
You shouldn't.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
I'm trying to read up and see if people actually do put dead bodies in it or not.
Do you ever freak out like while you're in the ocean and just think about all the wildlife around you?
Yes.
And then just kind of like, or like you'll like look out the ocean and the beach will be out of your peripheral vision and you're just like, oh, that's just nothingness. This is terrifying.
I'll tell you what's even more terrifying to me, and I didn't realize that. I thought I might be the only person in the world who had this fear until someone else on the internet told the story. And
Giant things? Is it giant things?
It's not giant things. It's almost like when someone first described ASMR, and I was like, "That's something else somebody else can experience." Like it was great. No, it's this fear. Like when I was a kid, I'd be in a pool, and I'd be fine, and then I'd go in the deep end, and I'd be fine until the thought crept into me: what if there was a shark in this pool? Now I know there's no shark in this pool,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
but my little like lizard brain was like, "But what if there was right now?" And it tried to get your foot right now. And I would immediately get overtaken with fear and have to get out of the water. It doesn't matter. I can see into the pool and see the bottom. There was some way the shark
I
could
feel
hide.
like that's a common fear amongst kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaws like
But it's
that.
very, yeah.
Some people were saying that they had a hard time going to the bathroom, like the toilet, because you know it's like water.
Yeah. And this is the
Jaws.
fear I had before seeing Jaws. It was
Yeah.
just, I had that. And it was Justin McElroy told this story on my brother and me. And he made this whole funny thing about glass shark. But yeah, like described it as glass shark, is going to get you in the pool. And it was
you're
the
like,
most, it was one of the most validating experiences of my life that someone else had this irrational
I had
fear.
I had a fear of mine realized when I saw the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
George Clooney.
The concept of being like, let's say you're in a spacesuit and you're attached to some wire attached to something else and that detaches and you just go flying. The idea of just being suspended in space without able to control yourself or go back to
Just flailing.
the ship or anything like
Yeah.
that, and you're just like
Lost.
essentially just like floating for all eternity.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty fucking
That to
terrifying.
me is
I mean, it would be only
so-
for a couple days.
Well, you could also just like, end it.
just
yeah.
Yeah.
at that point, but
I found a Reddit for it, and it's not exactly a fear, but it does kind of give me these like nice tingly sensations that are like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
It's not a fear, but it gives you nice tingly sensation.
It's not like, it's like heights. Like no one's like, oh, I love heights. Like I think heights will give
it's
you
an
a
adrenaline.
a reaction no matter what, but like large things, big things, like seeing a giant ship like up close, or like certain buildings, or like mountain, cliffs and things like that, like just like giant things. It's kind of spooky, but also like really cool.
I'm not following this at all.
No?
What is scary? It's scary? Like a big ship? You close to a big ship is scary?
Yeah, it's just the sheer fucking mass and
So
scale
like
and
if you were
size of this
standing
thing.
next to like a cruise ship, you'd get scared?
Well, I guess it's like imagining like there's like a big old statue of Jesus, and he's like doing this whole thing, and I think it's in Brazil. I don't know fucking know. But it's just like it's just a giant man, and just like imagining if that was like a real thing.
Imagine if it was, instead of that, if it was a giant sexy plane
Full circle.
and she was looking at you.
Yeah.
Air Canada, baby.
Yeah.
Air Brazil.
Getting hot right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this up. People in chat believe you. Who is that? Ben Maurer. I completely understand, Blaine. I have that.
What? Fear of giant things?
I
It's
guess,
not a
yeah.
fear. It's kind of just like being like, kind of like, oh wow, whoa.
So big.
Like your like breath's almost taken away when you experience this.
I think it's just you're just made to feel small. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see
Extra
you guys
Life.
next time.
Boy.
Check it out.
Bye.
Bye.